Thank you for joining us at the one show that asks you to pull out your books, sit down, and join us at the table. Quick introduction before we get right into it. This is my man, Mr. Michael Powell. Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
I'm Michael Powell, and my social media is at Mr. Kapow. That's MrKapao. What about you, PJ?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me everywhere on the internet at pj.mcgaw. When I'm not here with Michael Powell, I'm here Wednesdays running Edge of Legend. Check us out for the all spoopy, scary Halloween one-shots for the month of October. With that being said, let's pull out our books, put our thinking caps, and let's get into a fun one-on-one chat creation of an NPC. This might be the last one before we get to vote finally on which one will become real.
All right, let's get to it.
Let's get to it! As our flagship show on Wednesdays, we have votes sometimes, and I think we're like 3 or 4 characters in. So this could be the last NPC that we build together before we go to a vote to see which of these 4 or 5 characters will become a full canonical entity in the world, and we help build this together. So it's a fun process. If you have any ideas for characters, it doesn't have to be a Dhampir, it doesn't have to be a Tiefling. You could really be a fan of, like for example, last week when we were talking about oracles, we made a Shuni and Catfolk investigator married couple.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. So yeah, if you have any ideas, like, do you want to see a dwarven, trying to think of an idea, a dwarven alchemist who loves bowling and loves to throw bombs that explode like bowling balls or whatever, like, put it in the chat and we'll open up and talk to you guys.
Or maybe you want to make a hobgoblin or a lizard folk. To be honest, I've been looking at that lizard folk race for a while. Or even, we already have a Tengu, but doesn't necessarily mean we can't make another Tengu.
True. Our Tengu is a wizard, archaeologist, necromancer who loves going from dig site to dig site and learning about bones and I think working with the undead. They are also, I believe, part Duskwalkers. So they've come back from the dead to some extent, or the dead is in their lineage. So death really fascinates them, and they're doing archaeology to kind of better understand life and death.
Yeah. And honestly, like I said, a lot of these races, just because you're a lizard folk doesn't necessarily mean you're like a giant iguana lizard man. There's like cobra lizard folk. There's a lot of variations with Pathfinder 2nd Edition that you could go with in different types of characters. Like there's even gnomes. There's different types of gnomes, different types of halfling, different types of elves. Hell, we could even make a drow. I don't think we ever talked about whether there are drow in your world, PJ.
It's actually funny you mention that. There are drow in my world. They're a little different, and their history is very secretive. If we ever get there, I would love to kind of tell you the story of how the drow came to be in this universe. But there are drow. They're hard to see because not every drow is Drizzt. Not every drow is just going, I'm a special snowflake, and I'm going to break out of here and travel the world and see what complete adventures I can have.
Oh, so you agree with me? Drow should have Aussie accents.
Yes, absolutely. I was more of a horrible New Zealand accent, but absolutely. I think all drow are like, g'day, mate. Welcome here. We fit airs, and we're like looking to, have ourselves a row with the Lolth, maybe have a bit of a root with some spiders.
Mm-hmm. All right. So far, we have some suggestions, such as from Malice, a lizard folk bard, a real lounge lizard, or from another one from Malice, a Leshy Barbarian.
Ooh, a Leshy Barbarian. I like that. Also, they're from the Down Under Dark. Yeah, that's right. They speak Down Under Common. Mm-hmm. I like the Leshy Barbarian because that'd be a definitely interesting build. Lizard folk bard. I love the joke of the lounge lizard. Mal, I love that. We already have the kobold bard.
You mean Billy Idol?
Well, his name is Kobold the Bard. Kobold Scale, the Kobold Bard.
But he's essentially Billy Idol.
But we based him off Billy Idol. We absolutely did. let's see here. Leshy Barbarian. I'm really curious about
Yeah.
that. So if we were to have a Leshy Barbarian, understanding that Leshies can be on a range anywhere from like a beautiful series of plants to a horrific looking mushroom person. What's your
So we don't
thoughts?
go too deep into the ancestry of Lashy. For those who don't know, what is a Lashy? Just a real quick, brief description.
Well, I'm glad you asked what a leshy is. A leshy effectively is it's a plant person. It is a being or creature made entirely out of plants. There's a deeper lore to them than that, but this is the kind of bottom line. I'm trying to find. I know I have
Yeah.
one of my books here has
For
them.
for an example, what a Lashley is, I think it's I believe it's from, for those who, I'm dating myself, from that Super Nintendo game Breath of Fire. I think it's Breath of Fire 2. There's a plant-like creature.
Oh, Pico.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
love Pico. Let's see if I can find the leshy in. I want to say it is.
The Leshy is in the I believe the Iconics character guide on page 53.
Iconic Spirit. Okay. Um, let's see here, because I'm looking at the Lost Omens
Yeah.
book, and I want to say I got something
Yeah,
from
Lost
that
Omen
there,
book.
but probably not.
So are we going with a Leshy?
Let's do that. Let's go with a
Okay.
Leshy Barbarian.
Because I want to say this because we can actually make our Leshy very Octobery. Because I'm going to say
Ooh.
these are the different Leshy heritages. There's the fungus Leshy, the gourd Leshy, the leaf Leshy, and the vine Leshy. And if we went with gourd Leshy, we could do a pumpkin Leshy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm really thinking the pumpkin Leshy would be fun because you
Yeah.
could totally the
Yeah.
gourd Leshy, I should say.
Yeah, it's like the from the second Wizard of Oz story. The it's like he's like Scarecrow, but he has like Jack Pumpkinhead or something.
Yeah, sorry, I was looking in the chat. Maynard was saying, Michael, I'm dating myself. I think it was the plant creature from Breath of Fire 2 on SES. PJ, no age, shame, self awareness. Oh, you mean Pico? Malice, character page 53. In the Lost Omens iconic or the Lost
Yeah, I
Omens
think it's a
character
Lost
guide?
Omens like iconic book.
I don't have the iconic yet. I just have the Lost Omens character guide. So I'll have to go get the iconics. Because I know I've seen Leshy's appear.
Oh, it is in the character guide. It's in page 53.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh wait, yep, here it is.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
These are the Leshies. I could have sworn I had it in this book. Yeah, so
let us know what type of Leshy do you guys want us to make?
let's see here. I'm gonna take a quick look at these guys. They have 8 hit points. They are size small. That should be interesting. Speed of 25 feet. They get Constitution and Wisdom and a free ability boost. Their flaws, intelligence. Great for a barbarian. I get some interesting stuff here.
I honestly just for the sake of, like I said, 'tis the season, it's fall. I really want to either go a gourd or a fungus Leshy. That would be awesome.
So yeah, guys in the chat, everyone. I'm sorry, guys. People in the chat, please hit us up because I think the fungus Leshy is super terrifying, but the gourd could be a pumpkin. I don't know which way to go.
Jack
Do you want to go
Pumpkinhead?
pumpkin? Do you want to go like you want to go with like a Jack the Pumpkin Barbarian, or do you want to go with fungus?
Or you
Pengu,
can do the Great Pumpkin from Charlie Brown.
that could be like the big king of their tribe. Pengu is a big fan of the pumpkin. Maynard, have to go. It was great seeing you in the chat. Hopefully I can see you next week or maybe tomorrow on Edge of Legends. You have a great day, man. I'll talk to you later. For those that don't know, Maynard's a buddy of mine from back east, so if I seem to assume genders, I apologize. It's because I know him. But yeah, so
Oh, we have Malice going gourd Dhampir.
ooh,
Vampire Pumpkin.
I love. Okay, you know what? You got me, man. Malice, you got me. I'm doing that. That sounds good. So I'm gonna say a Leshy Dhampir gourd, and I'm going to flavor it as a pumpkin.
I'm just gonna read the gourd Leshy, okay?
All right.
You have a large gourd for a skull. Literally Jack Pumpkinhead. Your knowledge comes from within your spirit rather than a physical brain. You have found a handler to use the space inside your head. You can store a collection up to one bulk objects within your head. The DC checks to steal objects from inside your head increases by 4. Additionally, if you store only one object within your head, you can draw it effortlessly into your hand as part of another action to use the object. Drawing the item grants this other action the manipulative trait. You are literally a jack-o'-lantern.
I love that you can store stuff in your head. It just take up book and you start like put in like your weapons and whatever, up to a bulk 4. I'm sorry, increases your bulk by 4. Still, that's awesome. All right, it's official. We have us a Leshy Dhampir Gourd Pumpkin. Now we mentioned Barbarian. Do we want to stick with the Barbarian or do we want to go in a different direction? Because I kind of love the idea of this vampire pumpkin rage beast. They're out. I'm sorry, Miles just gave us some funny little stuff. They're out to get back for all the pumpkin pies in the world. Yes, pumpkin rage.
I'm down. Honestly, I'm down for the Barbarian, but do we also want to give him an archetype? Or just straight up Barbarian? Because honestly, at this point now, it's sounding like we're making our own kind of a Lich character.
Well, Lich, to my knowledge from looking in the advanced player guide, isn't an archetype, and for good reason. Being a Lich is a very powerful thing, at least canonically speaking. So maybe we could rework that differently. What if it's a Barbarian of the spiritual instinct? So it can like rage and then do bonus damage that's negative or positive, kind of like our Barbarian from Edge of Legend, the Luchadora La Pacificatorita.
Oh, I just thought of a good archetype. It's also kind of in tune with the season. Mm-hmm. He's a Barbarian Hell Knight. Almost kind of like the headless horseman type of like a knight, a brutal warrior. On top of a horse with a pumpkin head. We can even make the pumpkin head, like, if he has ability where he could go Ghost Rider with it and go.
Okay. How about this? Excuse me. So Cavalier is an archetype, and I kind of see the Barbarian Cavalier working well because the Hell Knight's going to request a pretty big investment. They have to become an acolyte first, and then choose their order, and then go from there. That could still be done. Also, keep in mind, the Leshy are small, which means this is about the size of a gnome. Yeah. So imagine a gnome, like this tiny gnome pumpkin barbarian on this massive burning hell horse. Like, that would be hilarious.
Or we could also make him a magic warrior.
Like, oh gosh, what's that archetype?
Literally a sword mage.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what it would actually be in the archetype list.
Magic Warrior. That's literally that's what it's called. It's called Magic Warrior.
Is that what the archetype was called? Let me check my book. I think you're right. I'm just trying to remember it. We could do that. So those in the chat. Ooh, Malice says Shadowdancer. That is spoopy. Ooh. I love that.
Or Rune Scarred. The barbarian, he carves out like cursed runes.
Maybe. I kind of like the scariness of the Rune Scarred, like marking people with these ancient and arcane words. Super scary. Let me see here. Pirate, medic, ritualist, poisoner, martial artist, mauler. Not seeing the magic warrior. That might be
magic warrior
in a different book.
I believe it's in the World Guide.
Oh, it's in the World Guide. Okay, yeah. Let me take a look at that. Also, so Malice put up the Shadowdancer. I really like that. That's really cool and spoopy, and it's something that doesn't have any
Very Jack
harshly negative
Skellington.
effects for its
Yeah,
size.
very Jack
Yeah.
Skellington.
Okay, so let's pitch this. A barbarian Shadowdancer. So what would be the instinct of the barbarian? I'm thinking the the world guide, not the character guide. I don't have the world guide yet, but I'll buy that because you can never have enough. Shameless plug. You can never have enough of these wonderful Paizo products. Jeez Louise. Okay, so Shadowdancer, I think it's really cool because it gives the barbarian that awesome shadow magic. It gives them a lot of really cool mobility options, as well as I'm gonna look into Shadowdancer again because I know we covered that. I think it was one of our first episodes.
I kind of want to say either spirit instinct or superstitious instinct, because the superstitious instinct is an instinct in the advanced player's guide.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the Shadowdancer would be powerful because it gives a barbarian sneak attack.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. A big sneak attack. Like, that's...
Yeah. So what do you think? Spirit instinct or superstitious instinct?
I would go more with spirit instinct myself because you can then add more positive or negative damage and kind of get more into that flavor. Let's see here. Let's see what the chat has to say. No, must be good. Shadowlands patch is coming out today. Oh, that's related to something else. Sorry, Pengu. Okay, so we have a Leshy Dhampir Gourd Pumpkin Barbarian, Shadowdancer. And do you guys, what do you in the chat think? Do you think for the Barbarian Instinct that Spirit is better than Superstition? I'm leaning more towards Spirit because I feel like that bonus damage and being able to kill ghosts is kind of on par with the spoopiness. Superstition is kind of like, Superstition is going to become problematic because you have to kind of get rid, like, you have to forego magic. Like, healing you is going to be hard magically speaking, and I think that's part of the anathema.
Mm-hmm.
And since we're going Shadowdancer and they have magic.
Oh no, anathema is you have to willingly accept the effects of magic spells, even from your allies.
Okay, willingly, because I remember it was like you kind of have to say no to magic.
Yeah, it's the opposite actually. You have to say yes to magic. I
remember the drawback now. You can't be healed without your permission. Like, if the healer just heals you in combat, not thinking about it, I remember reading it, and I was like, oh, interesting. So Malice is going with Spirit. Okay. So we're going to go with these. So Spirit Instinct. Does anyone else have any other ideas? Maybe Dragon Instinct or...
I mean, if we go Dragon, it'll be cool to see, like, a pumpkin head breathing fire.
That would be kind of cool. I mean, the more I'm thinking about it, the more Spirit Instinct makes the most thematic sense. The shadow dancing. True, Fury is just more damage for the anger. You don't get anything else, I think, besides the Fury.
Oh, Pengu says, I'm going to pick the dragon.
Absolutely. Okay, well, we do have, not that I'm obsessed, shifty eyes. I see you, Pengu, I see you. Okay, let's go with the Spirit Instinct for now. I think that might be the best marriage, thematically speaking. Let's see. Go back to that archetype for Shadowdancer, because that's probably going to be the most important thing to consider. Because we need to get a level, right? We have to... Or Fury, they're just angry. Exactly. They're just angry. They get a lot of raw damage. They don't get any special perks, just...
Like, character-wise, I would say Fury, mainly for the fact that because Shadowdancer, it's a pumpkin, it's a Dhampir. Honestly, in my head, I'm envisioning this kind of a cursed, angry, like, vengeful creature, almost a la Ghost Rider style.
Okay. Well, Malice and Pengu both have really fun arguments. The idea of they're just very angry. And if we're making their entire crusade to be, every time fall comes around, they have to be the vengeance of pumpkin spice. How dare you put my friends in a pie? How dare you put my friends in a drink? I am the vengeance of pumpkin.
I mean, we could
Your
also,
lattes
yeah,
offend me.
we could even also go, if you're comfortable with that, PJ, saying that maybe he has a special suit of armor that he kind of climbs in and uses that to as an anime creature to move around, but he's really inside. He opens it up. He's a really like a small little pumpkin guy.
I don't know. I kind of like, especially since he is a barbarian and all of his power is intrinsic to his body. I feel like putting him in a giant pumpkin robot, which does sound very cool. I feel like that would draw away from his power source, being himself. Let's do this. Let us go with the Fury, because I think raw power here, because he's already going to have some cool spells from being a Shadowdancer. With Spirit, they channel. Oh, but then Malice makes such a good lore point. With Spirit, they channel all of the lost pumpkins. All right, you know what? You keep winning me on this, Malice. Okay, so the Leshy Dhampir Gorge, Vampire Pumpkin, Barbarian, Shadowdancer, Spirit Instinct.
That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful. That is a recipe for something really cool. So I am going to throw out there the level for this character will be, just so I can look at this and feel like what a good place to go would be.
I want to go with 12 because I'm like I said, once again, at least for me, I'm getting the vibe that this would be an antagonistic NPC, somebody, if anything, like an enemy that we might have to end up facing.
Yeah, or someone that you, with great fear and trepidation, try to befriend because you don't want this guy to go aggro on you all at the last second. All right, so level 12, I'm down for that. Plus, you get some really good Shadowdancer abilities.
Yeah, I just feel like this would be a antagonistic character, antagonist.
I feel like it would be a good. I feel like it would be like a chaotic neutral or a neutral evil. One of those two, because the idea is that he is a Leshy of vengeance, right? He is a Leshy of temporary vengeance, and he doesn't care who is doing what so long as they are participating in the massacre of his pie people.
I would go neutral evil mainly for the fact that also all our other NPCs they're kind of like good NPCs that would help us. We don't really have anybody who would actually hinder us.
Yeah, I kind of like the idea that this could very easily be a villain in the show. This could be a really fun kind of Halloween one-shot next year where we introduce this character, and it's like, now I have to say, this character presents such a strong aesthetic. I kind of want to make an entire culture of pumpkin leshies somewhere in the world. I also want to do, and I'm very willing to add this to my world, just full sale, how a lot of leshies come from the destroyed remains of the world trees that were destroyed a couple thousand years ago. So you could have like fungus leshies being the gnomes that never popped out of the earth and became gnomes. They were the fungus that were kept there and grew up in the craters of the trees.
That could work. We have Wither King in chat saying, like your cousin who got himself stuck in the wizard tower you decided to move into. Malice says level 13 is the only level, and he's agreeing with me going neutral evil.
Yep. All right. So this is going to be the massive framework for today's character build. We have a neutral evil, Leshy Dhampir Gord, pumpkin vampire, barbarian Shadowdancer of the Spirit Instinct, level 13. Now, this amazing mental image of this tiny evil vampire pumpkin who just rages and having like this ghostly purple flame shoot out of his gourd when he's angry. He needs a name. Well, they need a name. We don't know gender yet. I don't think Leshies even have genders.
No, I think they don't have gender.
They're genderless.
Read.
Did I mention the cousin was a lich? Sorry, this actually happened. Wow. I would love to see that campaign. So, what is the name of this guy? This gourd. We could call them Jack. We could call them Jill. We could call them Peter the Pumpkin Eater.
Pumpkin Eater.
Peter the Pumpkin Savior. I don't know. They could have this other deep and eldritch name, and everyone just calls them like Pie or something. Because we have to name this guy. There's no point in having such an amazing character as a pumpkin, vampire, Leshy, barbarian, Shadowdancer, spirit instinct, and not have a cool
I got an idea. Why don't we just call him Spite?
Spite?
Spell it kind of also like it's pronounced Spite, but also spell it a little bit like spice.
Maybe. What if we went with, I was going to say Malice, like M.Alice, but I don't know. Pengu-chan is offering to call them Spice. Spice says we could do that. The spice must flow. You know, let me look at Leshy naming conventions. That might actually help.
Yeah, like
for making
we're trying to think. Like honestly, I never really even given thought to making a Leshy and naming them.
Yeah, now I kind of want to make a pumpkin Leshy. So their sample names are more titles. Mm-hmm. So you have like Scarlet in Summer, Verdant Tailweaver, Lurking Hunter, Masterful Sundrinker, Noon Sky Evening Song, Snowy Pine Branch, Cascading Rapids. So this gives us an interesting idea to name them like...
I like Lurking Hunger.
What are the names of the seasons in your world, PJ? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Sydney and I actually sat down and made up the seasons. I have to find the document, but basically we have based the seasons after the gods. See if I can actually find that note.
PJ, what do you think about the name Lurking Hunger?
I don't believe it really speaks to them. Well, let me see here. My laptop just fell with my SD card taking the hit.
Oh no!
That sucks. I'm so sorry. Hope it's
Malice
okay.
is saying Verdant Hunger.
Verdant
Hunter. Sorry.
Verdant Hunter. I kind of like that. Let me ask you this: how do you guys feel about the word like vengeance being in the name, like Vengeance Hunter? Or
I just thought of this just because of this movie and the season.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody know the Children of the Corn? He who walks behind the vines.
He who walks. Ooh.
Or they who walk between the vines.
Let's short it down. Let's just say walks or even stalks behind vines. Stalks behind vines could be their name.
Or how about this walker behind the vines?
Walker behind vines? Maybe. I think the question we have to ask ourselves for a name is, do we want a name that's just a name? Maybe it sounds kind of cool. Or do we want a name that speaks to their crusade, which is, for what we're going with right now, vengeance for all atrocities that happen to pumpkins during the holiday season. So, it could...
Vengeance for the gourds.
Vengeance for gourd.
Vengeance for the gourds.
For the gourd.
Yeah, that could totally be his like battle cry. For the gourds.
I love it, and I think it would be just off enough that we won't get sued by Blizzard and Activision. Let me get my Nat20 Productions list of notes to see about the seasons, if I can find it. There it is. While we're loading that up, let's see what we're saying here in chat. Leshy's probably don't have the most sensible names.
Yeah.
Probably not. The book kind of makes it sound like they get titles based off of what they do, what they're renowned for, what they hope to be renowned for.
Honestly, it sounds like to me It sounds like to me that they other people named them instead.
Maybe, but it's within the community for sure, because they're not getting their names from people. Let me look up really fast the naming conventions while we're doing that. I see Malice saying Vengeful Stalker. I like that, Vengeful Stalker.
And also, are we gonna be for its Dhampir lineage, are we going by the two choices that we have there, the Stravetka or the other one?
We don't have to choose that. I'm thinking maybe more like the fangs, just so they can bite with super anger. But this is mostly just the kind of like the concept build of the character. Once we get all that down, I would be more than happy to actually build a character sheet, and then we can show that live on show. Let's see.
I'm kind of thinking, like, I'm now envisioning, like, it rips somebody's arms off and just, like, literally holds the bleeding arm, and it's like the blood's cascading from the arm into its open like jack-o'-lantern mouth.
Yeah. So looking at the description of Leshy names, and we have some good ones. We got Vengeful Stalker, Vanes Verdance. My idea was going to be like Vengeance in Autumn would be the name, but so it says here, Leshies choose and change their names multiple times throughout their lives. These names often represent a facet of their personality or values, though another common naming convention is to use descriptions of a natural feature they admire. Some Leshies even use a cycle of names that changes to align with the natural phenomena, such as names based upon the seasons or time of day. So I can kind of see, since his crusade is really based around this time of year, I can see the use of autumn or fall in the name, with the idea that when this time is over and his crusade is done, he goes back to being, or they go back to being whatever they are normally. So you could even say, like, in autumn, they are vengeance of autumn, or they are malice in fall, or they are,
have you ever seen that horror movie Trick or Treat? I'm just like seeing that Sam from Trick or Treat, the little pumpkin-headed creature.
What was the name again?
Sam. It's literally like, it looks like a little kid and has a pumpkin head, and spoilers if you haven't seen the horror movie, he takes off the pumpkin head, it's like a little creature under it.
I like that. Let's see here. King was saying maybe the name changes on his quarry, so like their name could be I'm Angry at Tom. I like that. Let's see. I'm making my notes about the character.
I still really like Vengeance for the Gourds. Because really, that name just tells you what it's all about.
It's a little too much of a proper sentence. I think if we can take that, like, Vengeance of the Gourd.
For the Gourds.
Well, yeah, and turn it into a title. I think we have something with that. What is the name of the holiday or Halloween? Good question. I got that thing up. Let's see if I can find it. Because we planned a long time ago. We planned a whole bunch of like seasons and stuff and holidays. I don't know if we have like a strictly speaking a Halloween counterpart, but we probably have one similar to that.
The Harvester. It's called, like, honestly, the Harvest Festival or Harvest Moon or whatever. Let's call it the Harvester.
Maybe. Well, let's see what we have already. Okay, here we go.
We got some folks in chat saying, Pengu saying, I like the stalking behind the vines. Wither King says, I like the sentence name.
What was that? Sorry, I'm busy reading.
The sentence name. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, Wither King. Are you talking about Vengeance for the Gourds or something else?
Let's see. Well, because I think if their name is "Hello, my name is Vengeance for the Gourds," that could work. It might be a little clunky. I think if it was like, my name is Vengeance for Gourds, or my name is Vengeance of Gourds, that may be more of a title and a name that would have like the weight. They're both not bad. I'm just
also
thinking and pitching.
I'm not really seeing the Leshy at least speaking in like full eloquent sentences.
I mean, it doesn't say they don't. Let me check.
Well, I think this kind of goes on you as a world builder. Do they or do they not? Are they eloquent in their language, or do they speak more in kind of like a broken English, like Vengeance for Gourds, is here to
I mean,
something something.
looking at everything about their character, it looks like they are intelligent and trained enough that they would have proper English grammar, I should say, or common. I mean, the fact that they speak common, Sylvan, and they can even speak Draconic, Elvish, Gnomish, Goblin, Halfling, Undercommon, that says to me that they speak full proper sentences. You can easily make the choice as a player that you would rather they don't for your character's sake, but it does look like they are, you know, they don't speak that kind of broken sentence structure.
Wither King says, "My Corys will shorten my name the same way I will their life," and they also say they kind of awaken themselves by chance or are summoned by their intelligence.
Mm-hmm. I definitely like that. That's a really good like.
Oh,
Oh, that's metal.
and I believe Wither King says, "Vengeance for the Gourd."
Vengeance for the Gourd.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. I'm looking at the months. So the months that we have written out, we have the month of Nay, the month of I, the month of Haz, the month of Tam, Tam,
Mm-hmm.
the month of Ab, the month of Ayul, the month of Tisal, Tisat, Kanal, Kanat, Sub, Ad, Sub and Ad. Sub is the month where the nights grow longer and the sleep grows deeper. Those born will have creative minds and always spinning ideas silently.
Or if you want a more of a title, just call him the Gore Knight.
Gourd Night,
The Gore
or
Knight.
Pumpkin Night.
The Pumpkin Knight, the Gore Knight.
But I think we're also painting the idea that he's a champion when he is really a barbarian. So I think his name should be like
The Champion of
Pumpkin.
the Gourds.
No, because again we're dealing with a paladin. So get rid of the champion language and let's try something more like Pumpkin.
The Gourd Lord, or the like
Gourd
Lord of the
Lord.
Hunt, maybe the Lord of the Gourd.
Lord of the Gourd. That just sounds silly. I'm sorry. How about this? How about let's strip away the idea of position, right? They wouldn't be a high-ranking cast member, right? Because they don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
So what if we did like Ravager, Reaver, Avenger, Vengeance, like Vengeance of Gord or
I
Vengeance
like.
of
What about the Pumpkin Reaver?
Pumpkin Reaver. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh yeah, and King at all. Like don't apologize too much. Like that was all great stuff, King. I loved it. Uh, well, let's see. We spent more time on the name than I think we have on the build of this guy. So let's come to a conclusion here. How about let's see, Stalker-in-the-Vines. How about let's get rid of the and say Stalker-in-Vines. What do you mean by that? Like when they introduce themselves, they say, "Hello, I'm Stalker-in-Vines, Vengeance of the Gourd, or Vengeance for Gourds, Truffle Titan." I think that would be more of a fungus lesson. But
Yeah.
I do love the Truffle Titan.
Honestly, I'm more on Malice's original intent, Stalker in the Vines. I kind of like that myself personally. It just rolls off a little cleaner.
True. I feel like I don't know. Well, let's give it a shot. So let's do Tim Bob, good old Tim Bob. Let's do Stalker in the Vines. Stalker in the Vines.
And can I say he follows the Gourd Father? That's like the Great Pumpkin, the Gourd Father.
You know, I like that. That could be like, in his village where there's all these different pumpkins, right? There could be one big pumpkin king if you want, but I think it'd be more like a fatherly figure. So Gourd Father makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Let's see.
Wither King's also saying Stalker in the Vines.
Stalker in the Vines. Okay. Well, I wrote down the name Stalker in the Vines. So let's go with that for the name.
Mm-hmm.
Their battle cry will be for the Gourd. The pumpkin spirit of vengeance against pumpkin use.
Mm-hmm. And I believe so far chat wants to see it as a neutral evil character.
Yes, I believe we already have the note for that. Avenges uses of pumpkins during the autumn time. Uh, because they're a barbarian and not a paladin, again, I don't see them getting power from the Gourd Father. More like they look up to and respect the Gourd Father. That's kind of how I feel on that.
I feel he gets his marching orders from the Gourd Father.
I don't know. I feel like that kind of defeats the whole purpose of the character. Then, if his mission is a personal one, like he is angry, or they are angry at the world for using pumpkins for decoration and for food and to spice their lattes, then I feel like if he just does it because someone told him to, it would kind of remove his agency.
Well, maybe he's angry about it personally and the Gourd Father is using that anger as his personal weapon.
Let's go away from the Gourd Father. I think we're focusing way too much on a tertiary character for this character. Let's focus more on this guy. I think Stalker-in-the-Vines would be an independent entity, much like Ghost Rider. But I think how Ghost Rider knows he is working for God, if you will, or the devil, depending on how you read the books, or flip that. Maybe Stalker-in-the-Vines is like, I do this because it's right, because I'm drawn to it, because it makes me angry, and I know that everything I do is glory to the Gourd Father. What do you
Malice
think?
says, Stalker in the Vines, Avenger of the Gourds, but you may call me Tim.
What if Tim was short for timber?
I think that's just a Monty Python joke.
Oh yeah, it was Tim the Druid or Stu the
The
Druid?
Enchanter.
The
Tim the
Enchanter.
Enchanter.
That's
Which, by the way, originally in the script, it was some long, really convoluted name, and the actors just looked at it and say, Tim.
yeah.
We're gonna also, just really quickly, Dhampir feats, we're giving him fangs?
Well, that's a good question. Do we want him to have fangs? Do we want him to have vampire knowledge? Um,
Or do we want to
we
give
don't.
him like a Lashley, feat?
Well, let's come up with a greater general idea, and then we can take feats from there. Do we want him to have a bunch of natural attacks? Do we want him to have more of a magical stride to him, or do we want him to have more the leshy stuff, like the naturey stuff? And if we just give me those as a notes, then when I build the character for you guys after it gets voted in, I can go from there. So what do you guys want? Do you want him to be more spoopy vampire, or do you want him to be more natural? And understand that that's not going to limit what he can do. That's just going to kind of set up the ancestry stuff. Do you want a bloodthirsty killer or a hunter? I imagine a bloodthirsty killer. That's just me, though. Okay, so we got one vote for natural, one vote for spoopy killer.
I'm looking at the feats for the Lashleys, and there's a level 1 feat that I definitely want to give him.
Oh, yeah? What's that?
It's called Grasping Reach. You can extend a tangle of vines or tendrils to support your arms and extend your reach. When you wield a melee weapon that requires two hands, doesn't have reach, and deals at least 1d6 damage, you could change between a typical two-handed grip and an extended two-handed grasp using the interact action. So pretty much you can extend your arms like Mr. Fantastic style. And I just see that with it's like either an unarmed attack or something. That'd be really spooky.
That could be cool. Hold on, let me fix this. I like the Mr. Fantastic thing, especially if he's a barbarian, where reach can't become a problem. But this really defeats the issue with reach, having like a barbarian lets you just stretch out their arms and slam someone up to 10 feet away.
Mm-hmm. So what do you need so far, PJ?
Let's see.
Oh, so far we have Pengu-chan and Malice saying natural. Wither King saying hunter. I say knowledge.
Okay, so let's see. Harmlessly cute, natural. Well, two of those with the same person. You know what? Okay, so from there, I like the idea of uh, this guy being more natural than Dhampir. So I'll put a note of that, and when I build the character, I will kind of look at those traits because we may go with the Mr. Fantastic arms, and then maybe he retrains later and gets the fangs or something else.
Wither King saying tiny unarmed monk with reach. Just thinking out loud.
I think it's cool. I think obviously at this point that would be revamping quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I definitely love the idea, King, of a tiny unarmed monk with like 10-foot reach. That would be very cool. Absolutely. And I think they get Constitution and Wisdom, so and a free buff. So if you up that for Dexterity, you could make a Leshy monk, and it would be pretty cool.
So far, I think more people are saying natural.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the natural bent. So we're gonna build this character to be more natural than Spoopy, but Spoopy will definitely be there. Um, Especially since like the way I envision this is that as Malice has said, when they are not the spirit of pumpkin vengeance, they are just Tim. And so the pumpkin known as Tim is this happy-go-lucky pumpkin gourd, like just dancing and having a great time with the other pumpkins in their tribe. And then the leaves start to turn brown and orange and fall, and the air starts to become chilly. And all of a sudden, a flame grows in their pumpkin head. It starts off as a dull candle, and then erupts into a purple flame of phantasmagoria as the spirit of pumpkin vengeance, Stalker-in-the-Vines, comes back for a season.
So, are you saying this is a involuntary seasonal change?
No. I think it's definitely voluntary, but it is seasonal nonetheless. It's like they know what's coming. They've seen this for many years. The leaves are falling. The air is turning.
Actually, I do
They're
like the
coming.
idea. I do like the idea of a like a transformation, a seasonal transformation, because I guess kind of invokes like creatures like the Wolfman, werewolves. Like it has no choice. Like around that season, it turns into this creature of vengeance. I actually really like that idea.
I don't know. My problem is I feel like then it becomes less of a crusade and more of a mindless killer. And I feel like if this is a crusade, then there has to be agency, right? And if they don't control the change, then there is no crusade.
What if we split and just go? Maybe around that season, it honestly it just has another personality that just comes out, and that personality is all about the crusade.
I don't know. Maybe it's still kind of an agency question. I just think that it's simpler and easier to state that most months of the year they're a happy-go-lucky pumpkin. Once they realize what is coming, the anger builds, the anger fumes, and then they just erupt, and then they rename themselves the Stalker and the Vines, because as I said in the lore, their names are always changing, right? So then the whole idea is they willingly adopt the new name to adopt the crusade of I'm now going to go out and murder everyone drinking pumpkin spice lattes and everyone who's eating pumpkin pies and making decorations. As opposed to like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde scenario, because maybe Tim in this case doesn't want to become Hyde, and now you have a very different story that I feel cheapens the crusade. Otherwise, all that is still good characterization. It's just conflicting characterization.
I personally, I just kind of disagree on that. Personally,
Well, I disagree with that because I feel like it becomes too much. You're trying to put too many tropes into one character that muddies the overall narrative. That's my thought. And that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, all those ideas are great for other character designs. But now we're just beating a dead horse. So, This is what we have, and chat, if you have any ideas. If you like something Michael said more than I, please mention it. Like, yeah, I think Michael had a good idea. Bring that up, and we can definitely make changes. I'm just going off of kind of what I feel as a story writer and a character developer would work. So this is what we have so far. Stalker-in-the-Vines. When it is not autumn, they're just named Tim. They are a neutral evil, Leshy Dhampir Gourd pumpkin vampire, barbarian Shadowdancer, spirit instinct, level 13. Their battle cry is for the gourd because they look up to and glorify the Gourd Father, the biggest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. They are the pumpkin spirit of vengeance against pumpkin use, and they avenge the use of pumpkins during the autumn. They live in a tribe of pumpkin people, and most seasons are just him, as we already said. During the autumn, they become the spirit of pumpkin vengeance, and they are more nature than spoopy. Leshies only get to level 9 feats. Do they really? I'm curious about this. I'm sure you're right. It's just... I'll be darned. Malice, you're right. As always, look at that. Leshies only get up to 9th level feats. At least like for ancestry. So that's cool because then at level 13, they can get the wings from the Dhampir.
There you go.
Which would be terrifying to see this horrible burning pumpkin monster just grow wings and fly after you. Oh, no, wait, that was the tiefling. No, at 13, they'd get the form of the bat.
Yeah. I would say when it turns to a bat, it still has its pumpkin head, so it's like a pumpkin-headed bat.
Yes, I'm here for it. I love that. In fact, I'm going to put that in as a character thing. They will turn into a bat and still keep their pumpkin head. All right.
All right. I think we have a good framework there.
Absolutely. I think we got this. Does anyone else have any other thoughts or additions to Stalker-in-the-Vines, a.k.a. Tim?
And also, just in time, because we are getting to that time, folks.
Yeah, we are. We actually went a little bit over,
yeah.
I think, because we started really getting into a heated debate about names. But that's good. Names are important. Okay, so doing one last recap before we close, and I put all my books away. We have discussed a Leshy Barbarian Dhampir Shadowdancer. That's going to be very fun to build. Spirit Instinct level 13, Stalker-in-the-Vines, their battle cry, for the Gourd Father, the biggest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch. They are the pumpkin spirit of vengeance against pumpkin use and pumpkin abuse during the autumn. When they're not the autumn, they are just a fun, happy pumpkin named Tim. They can turn into a bat at level 13, but they still keep their big flaming pumpkin head. They are a barbarian of anger, rage, and vengeance, and I think we've kind of hit that. Anything else?
I think we're good.
Yeah. All right, well, let me do a quick head count, because that might be our 5th and last NPC. Let's see, 1, 2, take a minute, 3, 4, 5. Yes, we now have all 5 NPCs. So, since we're going to be focusing on Halloween for these next couple of weeks, when November rolls around, we can start the voting on which one of these 5 NPCs will become the first canonical fan-made NPC in the greater world of Edge of Legend. That's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
So let's do our goodbyes and let's call it a day. You guys have been awesome in the chat. Thank you for putting up with us. Mr. Michael Powell, tell us who you are, where we can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Hello, everybody. I'm Michael Kapow, and you can find me all over the internet on my social medias, which are Mr. Kapow. That's MRKAPAO. There'll be Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, or you can follow me on Facebook, which is facebook.com/MichaelPowDoesStuff, because I do a lot of stuff. And on Thursdays, you can catch me on the Toyzilla Network channel on Twitch. I co-host a toy and nostalgia show called Toyzilla Live. And yeah, a lot of fun there. And also be sure to follow me, subscribe my new YouTube channel, which is called Fantastic Tales of Adventure, where I put up all my TTRPG videos. I have a bit of videos up now so far. I think I have over 15 so far. So yeah.
Oh, awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, like go check it out. Obviously, Mr. Michael Powell is an awesome member of Nat20 Productions. Just go check it out. Worst case scenario, you have a good time. My name is PJ. You can find me everywhere at pj.mcgaw. When I'm not here at the table with my man, Mr. Michael Powell, I am here Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, doing Edge of Legend. And for the entire month of October, we are doing Halloween one-shots, characters that are not the main characters of the show, but are super spoopy. In fact, last week, we only had one survivor with 1 HP, and it was Mr. Michael Powell. So let's see if we can keep that character going and survive the entire 4 episodes. Yeah, so tune in tomorrow to see episode 2. And for the next 2 weeks, normally on Fridays, I do Secret with Life Action Roleplay and Ryan Omega. But because we are taking part in IndieCade, which is an online indie con for gaming, the next 2 weekends, the next 2 Fridays, we will be dark. However, 6 a.m. next Tuesday, I will be doing a stream LARP, and then I'll be coming here to do at the table. So if I'm a little tired, that is why. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to seeing you same Nat time, same Nat channel. We ask you to pull out your Paizo books, get your thinking caps on, and join us at the table. See you next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.